This is All About Wine, the talk show dedicated to the wine industry since 2009, featuring winemaker, cellar master, vineyardist, and tasting expert Ron.
Basically, what we're trying to do on this program is just trying to educate people and trying to make wine less confusing and more friendly.
From coast to coast and around the world.
You know, we really have had some neat people on the program. I love that.
Post your questions and comments during the live show on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/allaboutwine. Wine BTR. Again, that's www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. And now, All About Wine is on. Here's Ron.
because they cut us off. It's a free site up until the point where we pay. Then we get more time and all that. But we're trying out the free site to start with and seeing what's happening with it and all. So here we are. I've got some stuff to tell you about tonight and all that, and we'll be sure that we last and be sure that we stay on and all. And once we get our sites to the point where we're comfortable with it, we can get guests calling in, and we get more than one guest, and we can record like on a Sunday morning and replay it on a Thursday evening for your enjoyment, because sometimes those Sunday morning programs are necessary because we do people from around the world, literally, and they can't always do the 7 o'clock Eastern time. So we are doing what we can to try to get this going, and it's not easy. I had the time on here. I had the Greenwich Mean Time on here earlier on an earlier screen, and it's gone now. I don't know what happened to that, but which was a nice feature. I like that. So, here we are. We'll see. Let's see. In broadcast. Still trying to get used to the screen here. It's got some things on it that are rather confusing. But let's see. I'm going to. Let's do some glossary to start with here. That's always a good way to start the program. And then I've got some news and stuff to talk about and everything. So, glossary. I think we stopped with chateau coming up next. Am I not correct on that?
That is correct. Yep, chateau
Mike's
is
memory
next.
just needs to kick in here and tell me if that is the next.
Oh, I don't know if you can hear me. Chateau is
Yes,
next.
I can.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Good. Okay. Chateau. Now, there's something strange. It's chateau. This is a French term for castle. In the world of wine, it translates loosely to estate. So if you have a chateau, a French chateau, that simply means an estate. However, in France, the term is protected. You can't use chateau for anything else. It is a protected name. I thought that was really strange. I had never heard that before. You look at French wine labels and they mention this chateau or that and all that, but I never realized that it was a protected term. So, if you see chateau on something else, well, I suppose in France is protected. So if you see anything that says chateau in France, then it's for the wine world, and it loosely means estate or a French term for castle. Anywhere else, I guess you can use chateau. I'm trying to think, though. I don't think I've seen a winery with the name chateau on it. I'm sure I have, but I just don't recall one right now. I'll have to check into that a little bit deeper and see if there's any others. So, going on. Chef de Cave or Cave, the French pronunciation has got me off. CHEF DECAVE. Looks like Chef de Cave, but I'm sure the French term is Cave. That's a French term for cellar master or the head winemaker. Chewy. This describes highly extracted, full-bodied, and tannic wines that are so rich they seem as if they have been chewed rather than simply swallowed. And you get these young, high tannic wines, and you're going to really find some of those that you can say, ooh, that was chewy. Cigar box. This is an aroma frequently associated with mature Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet blends. This descriptor refers to the cedary and tobacco leaf scents associated with cigar boxes. Claret, and this has got a pronunciation. thing for me here. Claret, I was correct. Claret is the British term for red wines from Bordeaux. Originally, the wines were quite pale and nearly clear in color, giving rise to the term claret. I wonder where they got that name. Clarity, referring to the amount of suspended particulate matter in a wine. Clarity is described in terms of the wine's reflective quality: brilliant, clear, dull, or hazy. A pronounced haziness may signify spoilage, while brilliant, clear, or dull wines are generally pretty sound. So watch, that's what you look for when you look at a wine too. When you're tasting a wine and you look at a wine, you're actually looking for the clarity on it to be sure there's no particulates floating around in it and stuff in it that makes it uh, hazy or something. You want something that's brilliant or clear. So that is clarity. Classified growth. Included in Bordeaux's 1855 classification. And this is when they set up these classifications for Bordeaux, 1855. This ranked the chateaus from first growth to fifth growth. The original classification was set by the prices that the wines fetched and was intended to be synonymous with quality. We hope it still is. We talk about first growth, second growth, all that stuff. And it is quite a coup, I guess, to be classified as a first growth, second growth, stuff like this. But these are the expensive wines. If you're getting French wines, they say first growth wines. These are usually the expensive wines that you're going to look at. So that is classified growth. Clean, fresh on the palate, and free of any off taste. Climat, C-L-A-M-A-T. This is a French term for a vineyard site defined by its microclimate and various other aspects of terroir. The term is most commonly associated with Burgundy. Climat, C-L-A-M-A-T, no E on it. Climate with an E. This is long-term weather pattern, including temperature, participation, and hours of sunshine in a specific region. In contrast, weather is associated with a specific event, such as a hailstorm or something like that. So, climate is the long-term weather patterns for the area, but when you get climate is long-term, weather is specific events. Clonal selection. Vineyard management term for a technique by which dead or underperforming vines are replaced with new vines grown from a single superior vine or mother vine. And that is used quite often. They try to weed out the bad wines, and they take clippings from the superior vine or mother vine and get those started and then put them in the ground and start a vine from there. And when you do that, it takes a good 4 or 5 years to get yourself your full crop off of it. Clone. A group of vines originating from a single individual plant propagated asexually from a single source. Clones are selected for the unique qualities of the grapes and wines they yield, such as flavor, productivity, and adaptability to growing conditions. Pinot Noir is a lot of clones. Chardonnay tends to be a lot of clones. In fact, over the years, a lot of wines that we are now drinking are not the original grapes, but they are clones of the original grape because they have been bred and raised from different ones to come up with the best taste that they possibly excuse me, best taste they possibly can on it. So that's clone. There's national CLOS pronounced clo. Okay, that's French for you don't pronounce the S. Clos. That is a French term used to describe a walled vineyard, such as Clos de Voget in Burgundy. Closed. CLOSED. This describes wines that are concentrated and have character, yet are shy in aroma or flavor. Closed wines may open up to reveal more flavors and aromas with aging or aeration. A lot of times when wines are first opened, excuse me again. A lot of times when wines are first opened, they tend to be closed. You have to let them air a little bit and let it open up so you can really detect the flavors and aromas out of it. Cloudiness, lack of clarity to the eye. Fine for old wines with sediment, but it can be a warning signal of protein instability, yeast spoilage, or re-fermentation in the bottle in younger wines. Cloudiness may also represent a deliberate choice by the winemaker not to filter a wine, which sometimes can be misleading. When you look at a wine that is cloudy and you think there might be a fault with it, be sure you look at the label, because they will sometimes say unfined and unfiltered. And when that is the case, it will have a cloudiness to it because they're not finding out the small particulates. Cloying, CLOYNG, describes ultra sweet or sugary wines that lack the balance provided by acid, alcohol, bitterness, or intense flavor. All you're getting is sweetness, and it's rather cloying. Cluster, a grape bunch. Coarse, COARSE, usually refers to texture and, in particular, excessive tannin or oak. Also used to describe harsh bubbles in sparkling wine. Coarse sparkling wine is one that is big, harsh, strong bubbles. Colfondo, COLFONDO, sparkling wine production method for traditional Prosecco, in which the spent yeast cells or lees left over from the secondary fermentation are not disgorged, are left in the bottle. Cold stabilization, a clarification technique that can prevent the formation of crystals in wine bottles. Prior to bottling, the wine's temperature is lowered to approximately 30 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 weeks, causing the tartrates and other solids to precipitate out of solutions. The wine is then easily racked off or separated from the solids. So you keep it at that temperature for a couple of weeks, and they fall to the bottom, and you get the cleaner wine. Colheita. This is a Portuguese term for vintage. And commune, I guess it's pronounced the way it's in. Let's see what the little thing says here. Yes, it is commune. This is a French term for a village. So I'm sure that's where we got the term for the communes in the 60s and early 70s, from the French term for a village. We have a commune or we have a village. And let's do one more. Complexity. Complexity is an element in all great wines and many very good ones. It's a combination of richness, depth, flavor intensity, focus, balance, harmony, and finesse. The complexity of a wine. You will find wines every once in a while that you will take a sip of and you'll say, oh my gosh, this is a complex wine. And it's usually most of the first growth tend to be complex. And I already told you what first growth is, so you understand that. All right, we'll stop on that there because I got other things to cover for you, and we were late anyway. I don't want to go too long. And next one we come up next week is composite cork. So that will be our next one. Put that to memory, Mike. Let's see. And I've got a lot, all these different ones I've got open here. Let's see. Let's go back out of this and go to this. I saw this Esther Mobley. It's out of the San Francisco Chronicle. She writes for the San Francisco Chronicle. She's sommelier, and she writes an article in the San Francisco Chronicle called "Drinking with Esther," and she has some interesting things there. But this one that came out today caught my eye. It's talking about glassware, and we all know glassware is important to wines. Different glasses are made for different wines, and different reasons they're made that way. Tall flutes so the bubbles can come up in the champagne. The Bordeaux Burgundy glasses, a big opening at the top, big bowl so you can swirl it and stick your nose all the way down in there and pick up the aromas. And the thinner with not such a big opening at the top are usually used for white wines, and they all have their purpose. They are made for certain ways to enhance the experience of wine. And they came out with stemless glasses a few years ago, and I think the only reason they came out with stemless glasses is because they had pretty much Riedel wine glass company, which is the biggest in the world, has made all sorts of different types of glasses and different configurations and everything else. And I think they came out with the stemless just because they ran out of ideas. And so they say, okay, here we've got these stemless glasses now. These are really cool, and these are what you need. And people started to gravitate towards stemless glasses because, engineer just brought me in a wine for this evening. Let's see what we got here. I'll stop right here before I go further on this and see what we got. Okay, this is a Block and Barrel, BLOC and Barrel, red wine blend from Monterey County, Central California. It's 2019. It says on the back, Block and Barrel, a red wine blend. Boy, that's small printing. Let me get this over here so I can see it better. Okay. From block to barrel, great wines are intentional. You can taste the detail in every sip. Crafted with grapes sourced from exceptional vineyard blocks in Monterey County, this full-bodied Grenache and Syrah blend, that sounds like an interesting one, is finished in American oak barrels, resulting in dark berry aromas with notes of white pepper, lush and juicy boysenberry and strawberry flavor finish with just a hint of spice. It is 14.1% alcohol. Excuse me. It's springtime here in Florida. And springtime in Florida, we get all sorts of pollen in the air. And I tend to get myself plugged up from it. I am taking stuff, but it doesn't always work. And one of the side effects of that pollen is this cough, this dry cough that hangs on with me throughout the season. So I apologize for that. This is blockandbarrelwines.com. Vented and bottled by Block and Barrel Wines, Napa and Lodi. Like I say, 14.1% alcohol. It's a little bit high on the alcohol. And let me taste this and see what we got here. It's got some nice flavors, a nice garnet color to it. Very nice garlic color to it. Not real thick, not real dark. Oh, some excellent aromas though. You can pick up the Syrah in the wine. The Syrah has that unique aroma there. A little bit of pepperiness to it. The legs are a little thin. A little bit lighter than I thought it would be, but very good. I think this would go well with your everyday meals if you're having fajitas or pizza or something like that. I think this would go very well with those. It's not overpowering on the tongue. It's got a decent aftertaste. Not real acidic, which turns some people off. This is a little bit lighter. A nice wine. I think we paid $21 for this, if I remember correctly. So Block and Barrel, BLOC and Barrel, from Monterey County. Decent wine. Really is pretty decent wine. Should go well with dinner tonight. Let me pour some here because my engineer comes in and grabs the bottle for me, and then I don't get any more until I finish. All right, so let's go back to glassware. So Radio came out with these stemless glasses, and it became the big thing. In fact, at Florida State's Winery, that's what we used, stemless glasses. We switched over to the stemless glasses and used those for the last 5 years. We were open there. More than that. Let's see, 6 years, about 6 years that we were using stemless glasses. And they were much more durable for a tasting room. And that was one of the reasons why we switched. A lot of people were breaking the stem glasses. But she was talking about this glass out of France called the Zalto, Zalto, Zalto. And she wrote quite a bit about it. She went on and everything. I'm not going to go into all that. But it is a thick, tapered, and ridged glass. And it is they refer to it as a Duralex Picardy tumbler. Duralex being, heavy duty. And the owner of Pizzetta 211 in San Francisco decided to switch over and implement an all Duralex wine glass program, and he's been very successful with it. Now, this glass is really, really hardy. Let's see where they described. Oh, here it is. let me tell you a little bit about it. It says manufactured since 1945 outside of Orleans, France, on the banks of the Loire River. Duralex glasses are known for, no surprise here, their durability. Supposedly 2.5 times stronger than regular glass, thanks to its proprietary tampering technique. The Picardy glass survived 8 3-foot drops onto a marble floor in a wire cutter test. 3-foot drop. Take a ruler and drop the glass. That is something. Throughout the years, the company's cups have been a mainstay of everyday life in France, present in cafeterias and bistros, but they have also been exalted in the realm of design. New York's Museum of Modern Art has sold them. So, I was curious. I looked up that glass, and Amazon sells them. They sell the one that is shown here, the Duralex Picardy Clear 25 CL tumbler. It's 8 3/8 ounces, and a set of 6 cost $18.79. Cheap, and they can be used for wine, water, cocktails, or anything else. They come in other sizes too. That's just the particular one that she was showing here, but they come in other sizes too. So it's a new alternative and a sturdy alternative. If you are having problems breaking your stemware, then this might be something that for everyday drinking, you might want to get yourself a 6-pack of those and use those instead. And they come in all sorts of styles here. They also have blue, marine blue tumblers. If you don't want the clear, I would prefer the clear myself if I'm going to do with wine. But they have marine blue, and they also have amber glasses. So, here's a green tumbler also. And pink. Oh, geez. Scrolling down through this, I'm seeing all sorts of colors. So, Picardy, Duralex Picardy glasses. You can check it out yourself if you like. But she was touting the benefits of this throughout this article here. So, wanted to tell you about that. And let's see. Another article out of the San Francisco Chronicle. Again, because of the wine articles in the Chronicle, I do subscribe to it. This is talking about a particular wine that people really tend to love. It is Pinot Grigio. It says here, Italian for water, also referred to as cougar juice. It's also the subject of the 2016 Lady Gaga song about crying with your girlfriends and watching The Bachelorette. She mentioned Pinot Grigio. It's easy drinking, citrusy wine. If Pinot Grigio is a pleasant wine. It's not one of my go-tos, and it's funny that I saw this article because just a few days ago, my engineer and I were out shopping, and she says, "Oh, I'm going to pick up a couple of Pinot Grigios." I go, "Oh?" She goes, "Yeah." She says, "I had one the other day, and I was really impressed, and I want to switch over to some whites because we normally drink reds, which shame on us, but we tend to gravitate toward reds more." And she says, "I want to try some whites, and I'm going to get some Pinot Grigios." And we shared one last night, was it? Yeah, last night. And very pleasant. It had some citrusy notes all throughout it that was rather pleasant. So, if you have not had Pinot Grigio lately, I do highly suggest you try it. They're reasonably priced. Most of them are under $20. If you can pick them up everywhere, grocery stores or wine shops or anything. This is a growing market. The Pinot Grigio, especially in the United States, is growing by 11% this past year, which is quite a bit compared to the fact that most other wines, particularly reds, are down in sales. And also, over the past 20 years, the Pinot Grigio acreage has quadrupled in California. So they understand the appeal to it, and they've been planting for the Pinot Grigio. The grape itself is a grayish purple hued grape, and it is referred to by growers as uncomplicated. It's easy to grow, and it's just a simple grape that is really became the go-to white wine lately. The ABC movement, anything but Chardonnay, helped boost that and Sauvignon Blanc. And a lot of people have been drinking Sauvignon Blancs, and because of the popularity of Sauvignon Blanc, I think the Pinot Grigio has been found and is also being drank quite a bit. So, recommend some Pinot Grigio. If you haven't lately, then by all means, join the bandwagon. Get yourself some Pinot Grigio. California Pinot Grigio prices are $11 to $15. You can get Italian Pinot Grigios for about the same price point, and they other parts of the world they grow pretty much everywhere, as far as I know. That's interesting to see where wine grape varieties. Let me look on this site here I have and see if what it says about Pinot Grigio. Hold to confirm you're not a robot. Okay. Well, that's an interesting one there. Okay, I'm not a robot. Take me to the site. That was a new one there. I've never seen that. Okay, where are we? Okay, Pinot Grigio. I'm just curious. Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio. And it says here, Pinot Grigio or Zebibo is relatively rare blend produced in Sicily. Oh, that's a blend of those two. Okay. So I don't want to look at that one. That's Zebibo. I just want Pinot Grigio. Where does it say just Pinot Grigio? There you go. Pinot Grigio or Pinot Gris. And white wine originally from the vineyards of Burgundy is now found in wine regions all over the world. Wine, a pale, light style, popularized in late 20th century Italy. The variety typically referred to by the Italian name Pinot Grigio. And it is, let's see, grown in Alsace, German Grauburgunder, which means gray Burgundy. Italian Pinot Grigio. Sparkling wines are made from it. In Slovenia, they make a fruitier Pinot Grigio. And let's see, other synonyms for the family. Pinot Grigio is They got alternate names. I'm not going to pronounce them because I'll destroy them. All sorts of different names from around the world. And well, here's one that's rated 93 out of 100, but it's $95. I think that's a bit much to be paying for a Pinot Grigio, personally. But they're growing everywhere. You can find Pinot Grigios from just about any region of the world. So there you go. That's our featured wine for the night. That's a good idea. I should feature a wine every night or every week, and that way people can get a chance to try something new. Okay, let me go. Let me get out of this and see what else we have. Our recording has stopped, Mike.
Yeah.
The rest of the broadcast is not being recorded. It's just live. That's
10 minutes of recording, and that was it on the free plan.
That was it.
Yeah. The rest of this is going to Facebook and to YouTube. So it is going out there.
Yeah, but they archive it, though. So
yes, that's true.
One good thing about that. They will archive it. So, yeah, I just got back on the studio screen, and I noticed it was noticed that it said it stopped. So this is, let's see, what is this? Oh, this is talking about tariffs. This is another article of the San Francisco Chronicle. And I've seen quite a few articles on the tariffs. They're saying that it is going to really affect wines around the country. If you have not stocked up on your favorites from other countries, you really need to do it as fast as you can. So it's starting to affect everybody. The tariffs are strangling the wine business. This says Alex Krauss and John Locke owe the start of their California wine business to Quebec, but now they fear that because of Canada's retaliatory actions to President Trump's tariffs, the North American neighbor could create a financial nightmare for their company. It just says that they are not able to import the wines at the prices that they used to. It's 25% tariffs going both ways. It's a substantial amount of extra money, which again interprets into money for your cost. Krauss estimates that the 25% fee would amount to $15,000 to $20,000 in added packaging costs. He says he orders truckloads of glass from Quebec. It won't do any good to get it from Mexico either, because they got the tariffs on them too. So it's bottom line: buy your wine. Get down to the store and buy the wines. If you are a particular fan of something that comes out of Canada, you need to get it now. In fact, the prices may already go up on the shelves. I don't know. I haven't been to the store the last couple of days. I usually stop by at least 2 or 3 times a week at the wine shop just to peruse the shelves, and I haven't since Sunday. Wow, I haven't looked since Sunday. So I don't know. The prices may already be up, but it's going to start affecting us. So if you, again, have a particular wine that you're fond of and it comes out of Canada, then buy it now. And also, if wineries are getting their glass out of Canada, then it's going to be more expensive. So all of it's going to affect your pocketbook. And that's the important thing about it. our cost. Let me talk about Tassel Ridge Winery. I haven't talked about them in a while, and they're located in Iowa. They have all sorts of different wines. The wine of the week is Iowa Brianna, which is a sweet white wine. They have murder mystery dinner events, and oh boy, I'm getting some weird echoing on this. Wine and wood fired oven pizza night, Friday nights, reservations only if you're in that part of Iowa. And in the vineyards, they got tours of the vineyards. They can show you. It's right there. The vineyards are right there next to the tasting room. You can't miss them. It's right there. Plus, they've got all sorts of stuff going on there. So it's Tassel Ridge Winery, located at 1681 220th Street in Lighton, Iowa. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 Saturday, 12 to 6 Sunday, and reservations are recommended for a tasting, seated tasting. So check them out. It's a good winery. They got a lot of native grapes. We've talked about native grapes on the show quite a bit. They've got a lot of native grapes they use at Tassel Ridge. Okay. Let's see. That's not what I wanted. Let's see. Let's go to the. Well, where is it? There was an article that I wanted to share with you, and I can't seem to find it right now. Let's go to here and look here. And this is out of the San Francisco Chronicle. This is winemakers aim to boost non-alcoholic wines. I'm reading more and more about how, wow, I know what that article is. Where is that article? I'm reading more and more how alcohol is becoming almost an enemy of drinkers, of people. The millennials and stuff like that, and it's really a scary thing because it's affecting the sales of wine. Okay, here's the article I was looking for. This is out of the American Fruit Grower magazine. It said that California grape growers have a drinking problem. Worldwide alcohol consumption continues to decline, especially of wine. Learned the symposium. They're simply growing too many wine grapes. Not all of them are wanted, and especially in the last 3 years, many get left on the vine to rot. You would think prices would come down. That would reflect it to try to sell wine, and it's not. I stopped by a local store, and I'm not seeing a change in prices. I note the prices of ones, and I usually pick up some wines and stuff, but they're not coming down. And there is a glut of wine. The crux of the problem, declining consumption, is likely to abate soon, they're suggesting. And this is the problem. Baby boomers are the biggest consumers of wine, and as they die off, they're replaced in the market by 20-somethings who don't like alcohol so much. particularly wine. I have grandchildren and of legal drinking age, and they're not real big wine drinkers. And when they do drink wine, they like the sweeter ones. Moscatos, I've turned them on to Gewürztraminers. They tend to like that. But in the sweeter Rieslings, they are fans of those. But not so much. Well, my grandson is a red wine drinker. Good for him. But not so much wine. They tend to go, if they go anything, tend to go to maybe tequila when they drink hard spirits and beer, and not a lot of that. So it's this is there were consistent declines in all categories in 2024: spirits, beer, and wine. Said this Danny Barger, a California consultant. You've never seen all categories down like this. So it's an ongoing problem, and they're telling the growers in California and around the country to take out vines. They need to cull the herds, if you will, because there's just too much grape. They can't sell them. It used to be you would grow grapes and always find a market for the bulk. If you couldn't sell them, then there's always be a bulk market out there that you can dump it on. There's no bulk market now. They're letting the grapes rot on the vine. They can't sell them. They're dumping them. When was it? Oh, geez. It's been about 10 years ago now. There was a glut of blueberries around the country, and particularly here in Florida. And they were, there's a big blueberry grower that I knew the people. They make wines also. They make blueberry wines and stuff. And they had, if I remember correctly, something like 18 acres of blueberries. And blueberries are quite prolific. When you have 18 acres, that creates a lot of blueberries. And they had so many blueberries that they actually were dumping them in the back of the field, just by the ton, because there was no market for them. There was just too many blueberries out there. It was those perfect storm growing seasons where everything was perfect for them, and the blueberries came out very strong, very big, very juicy, and they were just a lot of them. And so they ended up dumping them in the back of the lot. And it was, well, from what he told me, it seemed to be quite disheartening to look out and see all these blueberries just rotting in the back of the field. They're telling growers to pull out more vines. They did a couple years ago. They were told to pull out vines, and they did. But right now, he says he said he would like to see growers pull out 50,000 acres to get down to the target of 500,000 acres, which would get the industry back in balance, according to this expert. He said red grapes are left on vines all over the state of California, and people keep planting them all over the state. And he says it's not going to do any good. He said one variety in particular that should be avoided is Zinfandel. He said there are a lot of Zinfandel being planted in California, and it's not selling right now. The Zinfandel market is really weak. So with this being said, it would seem like prices should be a little bit lower because of the glut, but they would rather let them rot on the vine than take too big of a loss. It costs them X amount of dollars to get these grapes growing. And I would think that I would sell them for anything just to get some money back. But they have a different attitude. They would rather dump them than they would sell them at a major discount. It's insane. The grape growing in California and around the country actually is in a tough time right now, and the weather patterns are not helping either. There's some weird weather patterns going around California. They're drought, then too much water, and back into a drought again, and same thing happening in other places around the country. So, if you have, again, I will repeat what I said earlier about Canadian tariffs. If you have favorite wines, go out there and keep an eye on the prices of them, because the tariffs might raise the price, but with the glut of wines and nobody drinking, that might keep them steady. I don't know. I haven't looked at a correlation yet, but I'm going to have to start keeping a closer track of what's going on with prices of wine, because we don't want to pay an exorbitant amount of money for the same wine that we're getting now for a lot cheaper. So there you go. That should take care of us for tonight, and hopefully next week we'll have a hook up at a proper time.
So, yes.
Yeah,
we had a rocky start today, and those of you on social media, you may hear or may have heard a big blank moment of silence when the show started, because apparently those little icons on the bottom left with our names on them have to be sent to the screen like they are now, where the animation is, like it was on Restream, and I didn't realize that. I was like, "Yep, I didn't realize that." And I went to Facebook to listen, and I go, "Wow, it sure is quiet, even though the show's running." And I looked at the little icons, and it said "add to scene," and I added to scene. I added you, and then I heard the audio come up on Facebook. I was like, "When did this happen?" But so probably about the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe might have been complete silence, just looking at the backdrop and that kind of thing. And I was like, "It's so stupid. Why don't they say, hey, there's nobody on? By the way, you might
again. We're learning, new formats.
Total. I just found that out tonight. So yeah, it's a learning curve, and I sent an email off to them for some support for another issue. I wanted to make sure that this service supports Spotify and Apple Music like Blog Talk Radio did when we used them. It was automatic, and I want to make sure that functionality is here. And if they come back and say no, then who knows? Next week we'll be on something else. So I have no idea, because we got to have that function somehow, huh? We got to have that function. So anyway, that's. Oh, was I? Oh, that's not good. Okay.
Yeah, you were cutting off. You
wow.
were.
I guess. Our next show, if I'm still on, will be March the 20th. I don't know if you can still hear me or not. We'll be on March the 20th, and thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget, there is a total lunar eclipse tonight. Actually, it's the early morning of. See, I think he's delayed, and I can't tell. What? Oh, he's like, ooh, and I don't know what he's doing to.
No.
Okay. So tonight, early Friday morning, there is
you start saying something, and then you go boing, and it
really
stop. I don't.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know how to fix that. Well, we're almost off now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else you need to ask.
Yeah. So if you're up at between 2 and 5 o'clock in the morning, be sure to watch that, and that'll be at its highest point and its most effective. So total eclipse, the lunar eclipse lasts about 6 hours total, and it starts shortly after midnight, I believe. Oh no, it's UTC. Sorry, is it UTC? No. That's 12:35 UTC on the 17th. That's a whole different thing. Oh, but anyway, it starts around midnight. So that's it. All right, I'm done. He's not hearing me. God.
All right.
Okay. We'll close the show now.
See you hopefully next week.
Okay, we'll see you. Thank you. Good night.
This concludes tonight's broadcast of All About Wine with your host, Ron. For
Bad-
show
I don't
know if
information,
bad
links to
sound on
All
your
About
part. I don't
Wine
know if
on
that's
Twitter
feeding
and
through to
Facebook,
our
or to
feed,
be a
but
guest
bad
on this
sound I'm
show,
hearing.
visit the show website at www.allaboutwinebtr.com. Archived shows are available for download on iTunes or on our show
In
page
broadcast.
at blogtalkradio.com/allaboutwine. Thank you for listening. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time on All About Wine.
That's it.